The latest episode of the Food Network's Beat Bobby Flay is currently on demand and features one of our favorite chefs here in Chicago, Amanda Salas. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
I'm so glad to see you. It's been way too long since I've seen you in person.
I know it's been a while, pandemic, changing jobs, all those kinds of things came into play here.
So let's talk a little bit about Beat Bobby Flay. We're not going to give away the surprise for people who haven't seen the episode yet because people can stream it now, and especially something to do this holiday weekend. But how do you prepare to be on a show like that? Do you go through all your techniques and ingredients, or do you go back and watch past episodes? How do you prepare?
All of it for sure. Cause I was definitely a fan of the show before. And, I love this particular show because it's like a nice 30-minute episode. Whereas, there's many other competitions that go on for weeks and whatever. And this is like a nice half-hour thing. So I was like, I've gotten sucked into it. I really enjoy it, the format. And I was like, when I got the opportunity for it, I was like, okay, cool. And then you just kind of all right, there's time restraints, right? So you can't do anything about the format of the show. The first round, it's like, you have 20 minutes, but you don't know what your secret ingredient's going to be until you're there, so, there's not much you can do to prepare for that round. But since, going in there, what you want to say is your signature dish, you just plan and test out. I cooked it multiple times, I've made it, before, but not with a time restraint, hey, 45 minutes and you're going up against an iron chef, it's like, so I definitely did it, practice, a few times, and timed myself. And, I figured I was sitting good on my timing, especially considering when I was making it at home, I had a 3-year-old, dancing around my feet, so I was like, okay, if I can do this in under 45 minutes with a toddler bouncing around, I could do this. But I'm also kind of picking up on how, Chef Bobby cooks and what little things he does, regularly, kind of keep those things in the back of my mind of how to kind of go about my process.
So the first dish you made, chorizo garlic bread. Now, Those are two of my favorite things separately. I never in a million years thought you could combine the two of them. How did this come about? Because you literally blew my mind.
Really? So I mean, well, chorizo and goat cheese really go together. And you know what? I was actually working on a dish for the menu at Recess, and I used andouille sausage and to make a compound garlic butter and put it on the bread. And I was like, all right, when I was faced with chorizo, I was like, all right, well, let's just substitute chorizo and do that. And then I was like, well, this is going to work. I can do the goat cheese fondue to dip it in or drizzle it over, however the judges wanted to do it. And it worked out. I was like, you got to keep it simple, because if you overthink it, it's like, you got 20 minutes. 20 minutes is not long. And when you're sitting there oh, hey, there's cameras everywhere. It's a lot to do. So you got to keep it simple and something that
So you just mentioned Recess. You're currently now at Edie's All Day Cafe and Bar, but you've been at Recess. You've obviously Rocket and then Smoked Edie as well too. How do you think all that experience and all those different types of cuisine kind of helped you prepare for the show?
Oh, I mean, it's just kind of taking all those little bits and pieces, the different flavorings, just being ready for whatever they could throw at you for the secret ingredient, and just knowing what, has worked for me in the past and just applied it to what I did.
Amy Sedaris, one of the guest judges on the show, what was it like kind of seeing her reaction? And, were you a big fan of hers before?
I've been a fan. She's she's hilarious. There's plenty of stuff that didn't make it into the show that she had everybody dying, and then Chef Michael Simon was the other judge. He's funny too, and it was just having her there, it was just you couldn't stop laughing. So they edited it very well, where it was it wasn't all we were doing was just laughing. We were doing some cooking too.
Beef stroganoff is what you made for the main dish. Was that a comfort food? Did your family always eat that? Was that something that give us a little bit of inspiration of why that was the dish you made?
It's kind of there's multiple. I guess there's multiple things. It's something have made before. It was always made it, no, but it's something that's I've made over the years at various times, and it just was it was something that my husband and I kind of had a backstory for it, just an inside story to it, where it's just we had just been talking about it when I started talking with the producers, and they were kind of they're like, what kind of dish? I was like, you know what? Beef stroganoff. Let's do that. And it just worked out. It was a sign, because we had just been talking about it a few days before I talked to them. So it's something we've cooked, in various preparations,
That's awesome. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Edie's All Day Cafe and Bar. Tell us a little bit about what we can find on that menu, and then the new location that's opening up later this summer.
Sure. So, I mean, we're definitely like we open up at 7 a.m. So it's definitely like that early like breakfast and lunch. And then we also have some cravings that go carry us into the afternoon and into the evening as well. So great spot for breakfast and brunch, toast, like avocado toast, burritos and wraps and sandwiches. And with a new location, which is going to be at 354 West Hubbard, we're going to even expand a little bit more and have more some dinner options and stay open a little bit later as well. So we'll, kind of like, focus on that neighborhood where we have a little bit more dinner options over there that is not really available right now.
We love the first location. We can't wait for the second one to go ahead and open up. And in the meantime, go ahead and catch Chef Amanda on Beat Bobby Flay. It's now streaming and it's now on demand. So go ahead. I don't want to give away the ending, but it's always wonderful to see our Chicago chefs on there. And it's been too long since I've seen you. And I'm so happy that you were on the show. And I can't wait to see you in person soon.
Thank you. Yeah, looking forward to it.